All right, let's dive right into this Apple Vision Pro thing.
Yeah, let's do it.
Everyone's talking about it, so we got to talk about it, right?
Absolutely.
We're not going to do the whole, spec rundown, though.
Right.
We've got all this material that you've given us,
Yeah.
and we want to kind of unearth what is the important stuff here.
Yeah, what does it actually mean?
What does it mean exactly?
Beyond the hype.
Beyond just the marketing and the, the flashy stuff.
For sure.
So, first of all, this isn't VR, right?
No.
We've established this.
It's very much its own thing.
It's spatial computing, which sounds very
Buzzwordy.
Yeah.
Very Apple-y.
Very Apple-y.
Yeah.
But what does that actually mean? It means your room.
Well, becomes the interface.
That's what they're going for, right? Like, imagine instead of just staring at a screen,
Right.
your room, your environment becomes the display.
Right. It's like Minority Report, but hopefully less dystopian.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Yeah. Let's hope it doesn't go all, Tom Cruise running from pre-crime units or anything.
Yeah, let's keep it light.
But what's really interesting to me, going through their material, is the emphasis on blending the digital and the physical.
Okay.
Seamlessly. They use the word seamlessly a lot.
Right.
Which is, it's marketing speak, but it tells you what they're aiming for.
Okay, so it's not about isolating us more. It's about integrating it.
Exactly. Integration, not isolation.
Okay.
That's the key differentiator, I think, with something like VR.
Right. Because VR is very much like you put on the headset, you disappear, you're in a different world.
Exactly. You're gone. You're in the metaverse, whatever that means.
Exactly. And this is more like...
This is supposed to be like...
bringing it into our world.
Augmenting your reality. Right. Taking what's already there and adding to it.
Okay.
Rather than replacing it.
So they're throwing some serious tech at this, right?
Oh, yeah. This is Apple. We're talking top-of-the-line, cutting-edge stuff here. Yeah.
This is where I was like, okay, maybe this is more than just a new iPhone.
Right. They're not messing around.
Because the micro OLED displays for each eye...
Yeah.
Sharper than a 4K TV. And
individually. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's like strapping two high-end TVs to your face.
Is that even, like...
The resolution is just mind-blowing.
Is it even, like, good for your eyes? Like, is that healthy?
That's a good question. I don't know if we know the answer to that yet.
We'll have to get the ophthalmologist on for that one.
Exactly. A whole other deep dive.
Right.
But here's the thing. It's not just about the resolution.
Okay.
It's what they're doing with it, right?
Right.
Apple's using this 3D lens design.
Right.
And basically tricking your brain into thinking that the display is everywhere, not just these two screens.
Oh, okay.
That's the really next level part.
So it's not just like two screens in front of your eyes. It's supposed to feel like...
It's supposed to feel like the display is everywhere you look, like the world is the screen, basically.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right, so you had me at tricking my brain. I'm not going to lie.
That's the goal, right, to suspend your disbelief.
But for someone who doesn't speak fluent tech,
right,
what does that actually mean for the viewing experience?
So think about it this way.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine watching like a tennis match on a flat screen.
Right.
Versus being courtside.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
With the Vision Pro, they're trying to get you closer to that courtside experience.
Okay.
Where you're not just seeing the action, you're experiencing it.
Okay.
With depth. Mm-hmm. With dimension, like you're actually there.
So it's not just about, okay, we're just making screens bigger. It's about
creating a more natural, immersive experience.
Okay.
That's the key.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense.
So you really feel like you're in the environment, wherever that environment may be.
That's interesting because they talk about, I think it's called travel mode.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's like, you can watch stuff on a plane and it compensates for the movement, so you don't get that weird motion sickness thing.
Yeah. Exactly. They're really trying to make it comfortable to use in different environments.
So that's interesting because that says to me that they know people are going to want to use this on the go, not just in their living rooms.
Yeah, I think that's a key thing, right? If they want this to be more than just a niche product,
right,
they have to make it something that you can actually use in your everyday life.
Right, because who's going to be like walking down the street with this thing on their face?
Well, that's the other question, isn't it? Like, how will this actually play out in the real world?
Right, what is socially acceptable?
Exactly.
We'll have to see, I guess, how this all unfolds.
Yeah, only time will tell.
But it's definitely interesting to think about all the possibilities.
Absolutely.
And all the potential pitfalls.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, let's take a quick break.
Okay.
And then we'll come back and talk about some of those possibilities. Okay. Comfy viewing on a turbulent flight.
Right.
Sign me up. I'm there.
There you go.
But, I mean, let's be real. We're not going to be strapping this thing on just for plane rides.
Right.
Like, Apple seems to be betting big on the whole entertainment aspect of this.
Oh, absolutely.
They're calling it the ultimate theater experience.
Yeah, they're really pushing that angle.
But what does that actually, like, what does that mean?
Well, that's the question, isn't it?
Do I need a special popcorn bowl for this thing?
Right, like how immersive are we talking?
Yeah.
Well, they're pushing this Apple immersive video thing.
Okay.
It's their own recording format, right?
Okay.
And that's where it gets interesting.
Okay, lay it on me.
Because it could be genius, or it could be a major misstep.
Genius or misstep? I'm on the edge of my seat.
Think about it this way.
Okay.
On the one hand,
Okay.
they're creating a format specifically for this spatial experience, right?
Okay.
Which could lead to honestly, some mind-blowing content.
Okay.
Imagine, like, you're not just watching a movie, you're in the movie.
Right.
But it also means they need studios. They need creators on board to make that content.
Yeah, if nobody's making the stuff.
Otherwise, you've built this, like, state-of-the-art cinema.
Right.
But there's no movies to show.
Yeah, it's like, it's the classic, like, walled garden thing, right?
Exactly.
Like, I've got this amazing thing.
It's a potential problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are early adopters going to be stuck with basically, like, a very expensive paperweight?
That's the risk, right.
Right.
But here's the thing.
Right.
They're also saying that existing content, movies, games,
right,
even, like, your iPhone photos,
yeah,
get the, like, blown up huge treatment in this spatial environment.
Okay.
So imagine watching your vacation videos.
Okay.
And it's like you're back in that tropical paradise.
Right.
You know?
Right. Right.
That could be a pretty compelling selling point for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Even if the dedicated content isn't quite there yet.
That's true. At launch. That is a very good point, because even if it's just like my cat videos.
Exactly.
That they're like life-size cat videos.
There you go.
Humming.
Sold. Sold. Sign me up.
Okay. But let's be real. Like,
we can't just
watch cat videos all day.
Some of us have jobs to do.
Some of us, yeah, we have work.
Yeah.
And they talk about this whole infinite workspace thing.
Right. Right.
Which sounds cool.
It sounds very futuristic.
It does, but I'm also like, is that just a recipe for me to just get distracted even more?
Right. Like, how do you balance productivity with a technology that's practically begging you to just get lost in another dimension?
Yes. Like, I need
a tough one.
Yeah. So tell me about this Mac virtual display.
Okay.
What is that? How does that work?
So basically,
make me more productive?
Your Vision Pro becomes your Mac display.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
But instead of being limited by, like, the physical screen,
right,
you can have multiple virtual screens spread around you.
Okay, so it's like
having a desk that stretches into infinity.
So I could have, like,
exactly.
Okay, so I could have, like, my email over here, and then I could have, like, a spreadsheet over here, and then over here I could have, like,
whatever you need.
My to-do list.
Exactly.
Totally.
Need to reference a document while you're working on a presentation?
Yeah.
Just glance over to where you've virtually placed it.
Okay, I do like the sound of that, because that is one of my biggest problems.
Yeah.
Is I have, like, a million tabs open.
The old tab light.
Yeah, and I'm like, wait, where's that thing?
Exactly.
So that I can get behind.
That's the promise, right?
But I will say this. I'm somebody who thrives in, like, a little bit of organized chaos, you know?
Sure.
Like, I like my messy desk, and it's just going to be a messy virtual office then?
Well, that's the big unknown, isn't it? Like, how do our digital workspaces evolve with this kind of technology?
Right.
But here's what's really exciting to me. The collaboration aspect of it.
Okay.
They're really pushing this share play in FaceTime.
Right.
Where you're not just on a video call.
Right.
You're interacting in a shared virtual space.
Okay.
Complete with, like, spatial audio.
So it's like...
Like you're actually there in the room with someone.
Come on.
Brainstorming on a whiteboard together.
Stop.
Yeah.
Forget the whiteboard.
Okay.
What about designing something in 3D space?
That's where it gets really interesting.
And being able to, like, walk through it with another person.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Making changes in real time. It's like something out of a sci-fi movie.
It's wild. And that's where this goes beyond just being like a cool gadget.
Right.
It has the potential to actually revolutionize how we work, how we collaborate, even how we think about creative problem solving.
Okay, so now you're speaking my language.
Right.
Because it's not just about, like, it's not just about spreadsheets and emails anymore.
Yeah, it's not just about how can we answer these emails more efficiently.
It's about like pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Yes.
You know?
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
So it's exciting stuff.
It is exciting, but with all this, like, amazing potential,
right,
there's a pretty big elephant in the room.
Oh, yeah. There's always a catch, isn't there?
There's always a catch, and I think we all know what it is.
Yeah. I think we can all see it coming.
Privacy, right.
Yeah, that's the big one.
I mean, we're talking about a device.
It's the elephant in the room, for sure.
That's basically mapping your face, your eyes, your entire living room.
Yeah, it's a lot of data.
Like, that's a lot of data.
That's a lot of data. And where does it go? What are they doing with it?
And to be fair to Apple, it seems like they're very aware of this concern.
Okay.
They're really pushing the whole on-device processing thing, especially for the eye tracking.
The idea being that, like, the data never actually leaves your device.
Right.
Which, you know.
But even then.
It's better than the alternative, but it still requires a level of trust.
It does, for sure. Because even if I'm like, okay, I trust Apple with this information. Right. What about
everyone else?
Everybody else. What about 5-10 years down the line?
Exactly. What's the precedent?
What's the precedent?
Yeah.
Like, suddenly my toaster is, like, collecting data on my, like, bagel toasting habits. And I'm like...
Right. And who's to say they won't sell that data to, like, a bagel company?
Right. Exactly.
It's a slippery slope.
Yeah. So
it's not just about whether we trust a particular company.
Right.
It's about how this kind of technology could be used or misused.
Down the line.
Down the line.
And then they mentioned this whole persona thing.
Oh, yeah, the avatars.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
So on the surface, I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to, like...
You don't have to get ready for your Zoom call.
Get ready for my Zoom call. Exactly.
As your perfect digital avatar.
But isn't that, like...
Well, there's the question.
Giving other people permission to use my likeness.
Right. What are the implications of that?
Yeah.
We're talking about, like, potential for deepfakes.
Right. Exactly.
Identity theft.
It's like how...
It's a whole can of worms that we're just starting to open.
And this is where I feel like it's like...
the Wild West out here.
It's the Wild West of tech. It's like we're making all this cool stuff, but we haven't really thought about...
Yeah, we're figuring it out as we go.
The implications of it.
Which can be exciting, but also a little bit scary.
It's exciting and terrifying at the same time.
Exactly.
So, okay, we've gone down this rabbit hole.
We've dived deep.
Of the Apple Vision Pro.
Deep dive indeed.
Where do you stand on this thing? I mean, honestly...
Is this the future?
It's both, right?
Should we be running towards it with open arms? Or should we be like...
It's a little bit cautious.
But it's also important to be cautious.
Yeah.
I think the biggest takeaway for me is Apple's not just selling a device here.
Okay.
They're selling a concept.
Right.
A new way of interacting with technology and the world around us. And that concept, like any concept, has a lot of potential.
Right.
But it also has potential pitfalls.
Yes.
You know?
Okay.
So it's up to us, really, to figure out how this all plays out.
So we all get to decide.
We all have a role to play.
Yeah.
In shaping this future.
If this is the future we want, or if we want to make it in a different direction.
Because technology is not destiny.
Okay. I like that.
We make choices, we steer the ship.
Okay.
So let's be informed, let's be engaged.
Yes.
And maybe a little bit skeptical.
A little bit skeptical, always a good thing.
Absolutely.
I like that a lot.
And that's the beauty of a good deep dive, right?
Yes. It's not
about just giving you the facts and figures.
Giving you the answers. It's about asking the right questions.
It's about making you think critically.
Yes.
About asking those tough questions.
And then maybe you come up with some answers. Maybe you come up with more questions.
Exactly. It's a journey.
But it gets you thinking.
It gets you thinking. It gets you curious.
Yes. And that is what we like to do here.
Absolutely.
So thank you, as always, for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure, as always.
It has?
Diving deep with you.
Until next time.
To the future.